Collective. It's Ron over here at Becoming Enlightened Together. Just another good reading. It's a short and sweet one, but everything is positive, Save, of course, for the overall weekly energy. The overall weekly energy hasn't changed. It remains the same throughout the week. And although it's not entirely bad, it does remind us that there is some low vibrational, thinking and actions that are happening within our energetic sphere of influence, whether directly or indirectly with people in our lives. So Hagles is the overall weekly energy all the way up till Saturday evening, and Hagles is in the reverse, so it's the only one that's in reverse for today, so it's very positive. And remember, it's not till later on that things are supposed to start going south, in terms of the energy for the weekly energy. So for today or tonight and tomorrow, it could get rocky. But again, knowing some of these things in advance gives you, the advantage of being able to take precautionary measures, even if it's just psychologically. And that's the benefit of, divination, right? To give us a little bit of a heads up of what to expect, to make some physical and mental preparations, to deal with, these stressors, this turmoil that could pop up, and sometimes when it pops up unawares, it catches us unprepared, and when that happens, it magnifies the effect of that something. So being somewhat prepared in advance, even if it is only, psychologically, mentally, and hopefully spiritually, and it allows us to put on our armor to deal with these things in a more profound way. So again, putting that in mind, Hagles in the reverse stands for disruptions, disruptive forces. It talks about natural disasters and catastrophes. So, the potential for disaster is very much here, okay? But whether that is, again, for you singularly, or if it is specific to, certain people around you, especially those who are acting in an unkind way or a low vibrational way, is going to differ from person to person in their situation. But primarily, the negative energies that we see here, we're already tied to, very specifically to those we would label as karmic, only because of their choices to do things that are very low vibrational, to think things in a very low vibrational state of mind, and not to take their spiritual journey as serious as the collective itself is. So they are basically not doing the counter measures and things of that nature spiritually to stay up, and be prepared, put their armor on, so to speak, each day. Now, the past energy is Iwas. Where is Iwas? Oh, shit. I must have put it back in the bag. Iwas, basically, it talks about the U tree, rebirth, and quests. It is in the upright, so it's a positive energy. It talks about success and strength and reliability, dependability, trustworthiness, enlightenment, endurance, defense, protection. It's the driving force to acquire. Basically, it is talks about the collective in particular as a person that can be counted upon. Okay. So if you have a spiritual, which we all do, whether we remember it or not, some type of mission in this life, something that we are to add to the collective, our particular gifts and the things that we, participate in that are, collectively strengthen those who are in the spiritual journey, sometimes, unbeknownst to them. These are the kinds of energies that we are able to utilize and that we have available to us. Now, in terms of magic, Iwas basically does remind us that there's a very likely chance that death may be very close by. Now, I don't know why that ties in with the magical portion. That's just the way I wrote it down. But it does remind us that death is very much closer to us than it would ordinarily be. So again, we see death popping up in terms of the energies that were being provided. And this is like the third week in a row that death, suicide, and those types of thinking are being brought, to the surface. So just keep your eyes and your heart open to that kind of stuff, and try to be a blessing where you can be, and pray for those who need it, and so on. That'll be different, of course, like I said, for everybody out there. Now, the present energy is Fehu. This is the goddess Freya's rune, okay, and it too is in the upright. So it stands for abundance and wealth, stands for, magic, things of that nature, financial gain, strength, talks about financial, strength also in the present or the near future, the hope of plenty, social success and energy and foresight, fertility, creation. It talks about anything basically that is positive and beneficial, and things that make this particular life more livable. That's what Fehu basically represents. Anything that's related to abundance or wealth. Okay. Now in magic, it is used in that capacity as well, to bring about more or to increase your wealth. Now, as far as our obstacles and our challenges are concerned, we have Urus. But Urus, also in the upright, is far from being a obstacle or a challenge. It's an obstacle or challenge for those who are working against you, because it grants you extra strength, extra vitality, courage, the ability to get through whatever it is that you need to get through, that extra strength that you need in any type of competitive, or warrior type of endeavor, is available to you through Urus. I even have that one tattooed on my chest. It deals with male masculinity, virility, and all those things which are associated with, I don't like to use the terms that are so, used today, the toxic, non-toxic masculinity and all that kind of stuff. But it does talk about masculinity from the positive aspects, that protection, the providing, all of those types of attributes, traits, characteristics. Okay. Now in magic, it's also used in the same capacity for matters of health and strength and vitality, male fertility, things of that nature. We would call upon Urus or utilize Urus in that capacity. Now, as far as our help and advice, another very powerful rune. So we have both Freya, the goddess, married to Odin, and her twin brother, Freyr, in Ingwas. Oops, there it is. Now, Ingwas, another powerful rune, stands for, and this is under help and advice. Basically, again, masculinity. He's always portrayed again in a very, masculine pose in terms of statues and things that are dedicated to him. He's got a very large, and so on, which again denotes a strong, virile presence. So, potential, freedom, conclusions and consequences, male fertility, yet again, growth, virtue, strength, family love, common sense, human warmth, a time of rest, a time of relief and no anxiety. So, and you following your intuition. Okay, so there's a lot of very positive aspects. I mean, everything that we're hearing for today's energy is very, very positive. Okay, but we need that type of energy to counteract the overall weekly energy that is always present, and the potential there that it could, um, manifest if we're not utilizing the positive energies that are available to us. And again, this is what this is supposed to represent to us. It doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. It doesn't mean that nothing bad is or could happen. It means that we have more than enough available to us to overcome no matter what it is that comes our way, and to do it in a very, very positive manner, in a way that we actually, flourish, even make out much, much better than we would have otherwise. In other words, transmuting a bad situation and making it a very positive one. Or, taking that lead and making it into gold, as they often, mistake transmutation for, or alchemy, spiritual alchemy. Now, the future outcome is also a very, very positive energy. It is Wunyo. Now, Wunyo in the upright as well talks about harmony, joy, blessings, talks about desire and pleasure. Perhaps you're going to have one of those weeks where, of course, you and your loved one, whoever that may be, or loved ones, are going to be involved in, some very passionate, affectionate moments and so on. Enjoy them. It talks about fellowship and pleasure and ecstasy. It talks about glory and spiritual rewards. This is part of your reward. Enjoy it. It's a gift. Accept it. Success, recognition of your very worth. All of these things basically are showing to us that are being recognized from above, and they want you to accept it, and accept it graciously, and to enjoy it to the fullest. We're not just, if you will, punished either by our own, guilt and everything else, conscience, but at times, we often believe that there's a higher power that looks after everything that's said, thought, and done, and that if we step over the line at some point, those things are going to be, you're going to have to give an account for them. So, in like manner, and this is why one of the laws of the universe is that of reciprocity, and also, basically for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So laws of physics are also recognizing these types of universal laws, at least within this reality that we live in. So if you put out good energy, you're going to get good energy back, whether you believe it to be a gift from above or just the natural, if you will, manifestation because you put positive energy out there. Now it's coming back to you. Either way is right, okay? Maybe both ways are right. That is for you to decide, of course. Now, in magic, Wunyo is considered to be one of the 2 wishing runes. So you use it basically in some form of manifestation. What it is that you desire, want, hope, you would use the energy of Wunyo to help manifest that into your life. So what we have here, collective, is a very, very encouraging and a very positive reading at a time when there is a lot of negative energy still very close at hand. So they're telling you you can transmute that negative energy and make it into something very positive if you desire to do so. Now it's going to require effort and work on your part too, and it will be different for everybody out there depending on the circumstances. But it tells you you have what it takes to do that. And that's what we're here to do, to transmute whatever negative energy is, thrown our way or comes our way, and to make it into something good. Okay? Now, with that being said, I wish you all, of course, victory as always. And, someday in the very far future, perhaps we'll meet in Valhalla. Till then, take care.